week on TWiP Weddings, we're live at WPPI 2015 in Las Vegas, and we sit down with Maureen Neises and Dario Righetto from GraphiStudio to talk about their albums, products, and how wedding photographers can position albums to their clients. Well, welcome to this. It's a special episode of TWiP Weddings today, and I'm here with Maureen Neises from GraphiStudio, and we're here at WPPI, so we're actually in the Graphi Lounge this morning, and we've got lots of people. The doors just opened, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's flooding in.
Everybody's lined up.
Yeah, that's great. Everybody's here to see the latest product offerings from GraphiStudio. So thanks for joining me today.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, excellent. So I wanted to talk to you today. We're going to bring in Dario here in a little bit to talk about some of the technical side of things, but I wanted to talk to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your role here with GraphiStudio?
Sure. So I manage the U.S. market in Canada, and we're really excited. I mean, for 15 years we have been exhibiting at WPPI, showing new product and always bringing new things to the marketplace, and that's GraphiStudio's reputation is being a leader in the industry. So this show, we're launching a number of new products. One is our new HD printing technology. So, my role at GraphiStudio is managing all aspects of the U.S. and Canada, customer relationships, helping the company expand into new channels of distribution. This show, we're launching some of our new products for the portrait photographer, which we're really excited about. I mean, it's a growing market, the portrait and newborn photographer, and in the past we've been known primarily as a wedding book company, a high-end product made in Italy, and we've done such a great job positioning the brand made in Italy that a lot of photographers think they're expensive, but the reality is our product is quite affordable. So we're working very hard on bringing a high-quality product that's affordable to the marketplace. We have product that starts at $72, handcrafted in Italy, turned around in 10 days. Perfect for portrait photographers and newborn photographers. So expanding rapidly in different channels and building a brand that's recognized globally and trusted by not only photographers, but seeked out by brides because they trust it.
Excellent. So we had a show a little while ago, and we talked about albums, and we talked about photographers sort of adding albums to their mix if they're not already selling albums. I think if they are a wedding photographer, they should be selling albums. But what advice would you give to photographers who are either maybe they're looking to change with their album, they want to go upscale a little bit with their albums, or they want to introduce albums into their product lineup altogether? They've never offered them before. What advice would you give to kind of get that ball rolling for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a perception that books in general are difficult to incorporate into your program, and that's where we step in. We have just a best-in-class customer service sales team that they truly do hold the photographer's hand. I know that sounds like a big commitment, but we do, and that's what is the difference between GraphiStudio and so many other alternatives is, we want to see our partners succeed, and we know that when they finish the job, when they offer a tangible product to their clients, that it helps their business grow long term. The short term, we've witnessed this in the industry when we went through a period of time in this industry where photographers were looking at alternative options such as the shoot and burn. Look at what that's done to photographers. They were unable to maximize revenue opportunities. It had a negative impact on referrals. So books are an integral part of their business for growth, and it's also important that they finish the job. They need to control what their work looks like, as opposed to handing over a disc, having their clients print that at Walmart or Walgreens or who knows where with terrible colors, and that's their work that's going to be on display for other people to see. We can't have that as professionals. For professional photographers, we have to lay down the ground rules, and we have to finish the job. We have to offer a professional product, and that's what we do at GraphiStudio. So we coach photographers. We do webinars on a weekly basis. We help them understand the value of offering books. I mean, I don't care if it's I'd like it to be a GraphiStudio book, but in general, we know it's best for the industry if they offer a book to some form.
Yeah.
And we have, like I said earlier, we have price points that start at $72. So when you're looking at trying to justify, here's a disc, or here's a book that costs the photographer $72, the value of what that provides the photographer, it makes so much sense. And over the years, we've come up with a really strong workflow for photographers. So in the good old days, 15, 20 years ago, it may have been more complicated. on and adding books to your program, but not today. Today we've simplified it. We have state-of-the-art workflow with some of our new products, and that's where most of our products are going to transition to, is this new workflow, so it's really easy.
That's great. I always equate it with the books. It'd be like going to a restaurant, sitting down, and then the chef just bringing out all the ingredients and leaving them on the table and saying, here you go, make your dinner. If you're not delivering an album or something like that, more of the shoot to burn kind of mentality. So that's great that you kind of touched on that. Are you noticing a bit of a swing back? Like you noticed a few years ago, there was a kind of that, with the digital and the kind of the shoot and burn. Are you seeing a return to kind of those days where people are appreciating a printed product? I notice a lot of people are going back to film, embracing film. Are you seeing some of that?
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought up film, because we had dinner last night with Joe Busink, and that's exactly what he mentioned, that he's going back to film. He's never left film. It's just part of who Joe is and what he's known for, and the style of his photography. But I am absolutely seeing a shift. So, and here's why. When we went through that period, a couple of years where photographers were dabbling with, and maybe it's lack of education, brides asking and not knowing how to overcome. And I think that has a lot to play into what has happened in this industry. So those photographers that offered a disc and didn't finish the job and didn't have product are now coming back to us. And it's like, I used to have so much revenue in my studio, and then I started letting the brides, my customers, control my business instead of me controlling my business, and I lost significant revenue. Now I'm on a rebound, and I have to go back to my original business model with changing. Of course, you have to change with times. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in this industry that will help photographers with their brand and social media, but books are a very important part of that. So I'm seeing a big shift coming back, and the vast majority of our calls with new customers have to do with that exactly. They've tried it, it didn't work, now they need to partner with a company that knows what they're doing.
Excellent. So what's your feedback just here? You guys are doing something a little different this year. You've got a lounge, you're kind of not in the expo, you're sort of doing something separate. What's been the feedback so far? What's been the response?
Oh, it's an unqualified success. I mean, so we're so used to the trade show floor. We're so used to that, but yet we're a company that's always evolving, and we're always trying something new. I mean, even at the trade show, I remember, one year we had a Ferrari on the show floor. We're always, pushing the boundaries. One year, we built a castle. One year we had an idea of bringing little scooters up on the stage for the awards ceremony. So always trying new things. And this year we had an idea of getting off the show floor, mainly because we wanted to create a better experience for our clients. We didn't enjoy the hustle and bustle on the trade show floor for our clients, and that's okay for many exhibitors here at the show. WPPI does a wonderful job in bringing photographers around the world together and some of the top exhibitors. But for us, it's always been about the experience, and we needed to do something different. We recognize that. So we wanted to create this lounge, a more intimate setting, soft Italian music playing in the background, which it's not right now, but it will be soon. And getting to know our customers at a different level. That's how we win, and that's how they win. When we connect with them and understand more about their business, we can come up with the solutions, and we can help them take their business to the next level. Our sales team, they're not really sales representatives, they're more consultants, and that's how they view their job, and that's how they help photographers.
Yeah, I think one of the things I was most excited, this is my first WPPI, so one of the things for me was to be able to come and actually see all the product, because there's so many options that you guys offer, it's tough to have, you can't have your hands on all of them, so it's really nice to kind of, press the flesh a little bit, meet some of the reps that you talk to on the phone or deal with via email. We're in this connected space, but sometimes we don't see each other and meet face to face, so sometimes it's nice to have that face to face contact with the reps and see the product. So just in terms of that, we're going to bring Dario here in a minute just to talk some of the technical sides of the product, but I want to ask you about, with the offerings, you guys offer a lot of options. We talked on an earlier episode about, sometimes it can be overwhelming for clients if they're presented with too many choices. They sort of analysis by paralysis, and they can't make a decision. What's some advice you can give to photographers in terms of choosing from, you know, all the different options that you guys offer, and maybe narrowing that choice down, or opening it up for their customers?
There's a couple of different ways to approach that. I mean, we know less is more. When we put everything in front of somebody, it's overwhelming. So a couple of things have to happen. We know our clients lean on, and I'm talking about the end consumer, leans on the professional, the photographer, for guidance. So typically, whatever photographers have for studio samples, that's ultimately what their clients are going to order. So the sales rep is very involved with that in helping the photographers choose the right samples based on their business today and where they want to take it. So we help them build packages. We help them identify the products that will fit their business and help them differentiate themselves from everybody else. What's great about GraphiStudio is that we do. I mean, look at around. We have so many products at wonderful price points, some of them the best price points, sharpest price points in this industry. So we'll take a step back with them. We'll get to know their business, and then we'll make suggestions based on what has worked. And that they can't get that anywhere else. So they're getting free advice as a business consultant from their sales rep, because that's what we do, and it works. It works really well.
That's great. One question I have for you, and maybe you can give some advice or some tips. I know, you know, we're kind of in this bit of a DIY bride. You know, I get a lot of brides that'll come in, and we talk to them about an album. We try to build our presentation around the book, and because we feel that's our finished product, like you were saying earlier. But we still have those brides that come in and say, "Oh no, I just want a disc, and I'm going to do my own. I'm a scrapbooker," or whatever it might be. And usually those are, you know, good intentions, but usually they end up doing it. How do you respond to that? What's kind of the best strategy for kind of dealing with those types?
It won't get done. I mean, if the photographer lets the bride design the book, that is probably not a good idea. It would be like a bride designing her dress and sewing her dress. I mean, are they you know, or making her own cake for her wedding, or having her family members come in and bring food to the reception. I mean, it's her one and only day, and it has to be done right, and it should be done by professionals. If the bride would like to do a scrapbook with candids from her family and friends, so be it. But not when it comes to professional photography. We have to draw the line. We have to protect this industry, and all of us have to raise the standards together. And once we stop doing that, that's what we're going to see has happened, you know, a few years ago. This industry has an opportunity to continue to grow and expand, but if we're not all operating under the same standards, then no, we will have problems. See, what's nice about GraphiStudio is we work directly with professional photographers. We support them. We provide them with professional tools. You know, there's a lot of companies in this industry that are deviating from that approach, and they have to for growth purposes. But you know, luckily, you know, we don't have to.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to bring Dario in here in a second, but just to kind of wrap up, what's in the future for GraphiStudio? What can we expect in this year or coming years?
Well, we're making the future right now, and it's exciting. And I say that year after year. It's like, you know, how can we continue to do it better? You know, and we do, and that's because the team is so committed, and they're so in tune. They have their finger on the pulse of the trends in the marketplace. So we're not just planning for today. I mean, we really are planning 3, 4, 5 years out. And you know, I had an opportunity, and I'll touch on it quickly because I know we're going to make a transition here. But you know, in our planning meeting in Italy, shortly, like a year ago, we had reviewed a project binder of over 100 new initiatives that we're going to be bringing to the marketplace. Monumental changes for professional photographers globally. That's going to be happening through the company. Last year, we introduced over 40 new products and workflow solutions. So you'll see some new products here. Today we have the HD new printing technology. We've launched our new baby book at $72. It's a book in a box, which is incredible, delivered in 10 days or less. We have a new concept book that's on the back table, which is an idea that Jerry approached us with. And it's fantastic. We have people that were lined up yesterday to see it. It's printed on leather. There's nothing like this in the industry, hands down. We have our new Primo books, which is amazing price point. Starts out at 100 pages, maxes out at 350. So it's in our blood. It's in our DNA. Creating new product to provide photographers with a competitive edge is who we are. We never are comfortable staying in one position anytime too long. Now what happens is then people start trying to follow you because they see your success and they want to try to kind of copy what you've done. So that forces us to continue to visit the future as well.
Great, excellent. Well, that's fantastic. I'm going to bring Dario in here next, and we're talking to him about some of the technical stuff. But I really want to thank you for taking the time to join us here on TWiP Weddings today and talk about some of the stuff that's going on with GraphiStudio.
Thanks
very much. So I'm joined by Dario Righetto. Nice to meet you. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us. Tell us a little bit about your role with Graphi.
So, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm the global marketing manager for GraphiStudio, and I'm helping building the brand on a global scale. So it's a pretty tough task. So what we are trying to do is to make sure that professionists have let's say their mate, their friends in Graphi family, and they know that our company is absolutely 100% devoted to professionists. First, second, we are not really bookbinder in the very tight sense. We are more about innovators. We are more about creative people. All our backgrounds are about creativity or before the digital era, way before the digital era, we were already involved in the offset industry or in photographic industry or in advertisements. So we know how it used to be. And the thing is, in the early 90s, the three co-founders of GraphiStudio had this vision about the new era. It was yet to come, but it was there, the dawn of the digital era. So they took the bounce. Instead of being scared about that, they preferred to surf the wave and deliver new things, new products that were simply unbelievable in those times. Actually, they were, I would say, brave at some degree because technologies were immature, to say the least. So it was kind of an experiment in their garage, as in any good, successful company should be, as we know, many case histories.
Sure, yeah.
And so after 2 decades, we can say that we are still the market leader, and it's a proud for me to represent the company overseas and in Europe as well, and keep just the message to the professionists and hey guys, we are here, we are for you, developing things. And as Maureen said before, it's not really about giving just options. It's not really about options. It's more about a concept. Our mission is to be like a canvas. I heard that before you ask, okay, aren't you concerned that all these options could overwhelm photographers? And I say that, yeah, maybe. And that's why we do not consider our program as a catalog, but we think that Graphi is like a white canvas and a color palette. Our customers, our photographers, are like artists. And they have the brush and the stroke to create the paintings, the masterpiece. So they are the artist and the designer to some degree. And we just want to have their tools. That's why there are so many features and options in our program, because we think that artists need freedom degrees.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the stuff from a technical standpoint. What are some of the new innovations? I noticed you guys have some new Canon HD printing. I had a chance to peek at the book earlier. It looks amazing. Tell us a little bit about that product and how that came to be.
Yeah. Well, actually, the HD project is pretty exciting because for the first time we can deliver something way beyond any photographic paper you can ever see in your career. So it's something amazing because, first of all, photographers do not need to alter their workflow. So they can keep doing the same thing as they used to do. First. Second, we make the deal with Canon, and our strategy is to go to market at the same price point as the photo paper. It means that you can bring the new standard at the same conditions with no efforts. You can bring the new standards at the same conditions with no efforts on their side, and it's a piece of cake. It's a no-brainer to me because the HD actually delivers a better quality, more definition, more saturation, a bigger dynamic range, bigger gamut. So it's by no means it's the best thing I ever seen in this industry. and I would say since a lot.
So I saw sort of you guys have posted a little behind-the-scenes video of the setup of the new printers and things like that. Tell us about that process and what that was like.
Oh, actually, working with Canon has been nothing but amazing. But of course, it took times. Some kind of things as this project was quite demanding, and they don't happen overnight. So, despite the fast-paced video, actually, it took 4 years to convey to this point. And to merge our different point of views, because of course their background is different than Graphi. And in the end, we made this deal at the last Photokina in Cologne in Germany last fall season, and here we go. We set up the machine, the Dream Labo 5000s. It took more or less 1 week just to installation and setup, and then after a month and a half, I can say that the first installation phase is done, is completed. We are 100% satisfied by the machine, and actually all the prototypes you can see all around here are made with that fantastic printer. And the good part is that for the first time we can deliver the same inkjet quality for artistic prints and bind that into a book at a convenient price. That's the trick. So no silver halide, no chemistry behind that. No offset digital, so it's the best quality on this planet available, and it is the inkjet technology.
Yeah, it looks stunning. Is there anything? Did you see something coming with, like, we've got 4K happening, and we've got these new Canon cameras with the super high, high resolution. Are you seeing that? Transitioning a little bit into this as well.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this to the conversation, because it's a very hot topic at the moment. 4K becomes kind of a hype of the moment. Everybody are thinking about that, and my answer is potentially this is going to change dramatically our lives. At the moment, what I can see is that we are on the verge of a new dawn, and professionists have the chance to bring to their clientele the new standard, which is going to be the HD printing, impress their clientele, and of course in few years they can create and set the bar on the new level. At that point it will become a kind of a mass market technology, I'm sure it will. But the 4K is just around the corner, and to be honest, we tried also some tests creating books from videos. So grabbing frames from a video, from a 4K video, to see the result, to see the quality. And guys, I think we are almost there. We are almost there. Yeah, that's exciting, because it could be potentially could be really a great impact on the photography profession at some degree, because photographers might turn into videographer, or videographer into photographer, as you like.
Yeah.
But it could be a revolution.
That's really interesting. You have another product here. Maureen touched on it. A product that Jerry Gionis kind of dreamed up, and he's got it here. It's a beautiful album. It's printed on leather.
Yeah.
Like the actual photographs are printed on leather. Tell us about that. How did that happen?
Everything happened one morning, local time in Italy, and Jerry Skyped me and say, "Hey, I got an idea for the next WPPI." I say, "Okay, tell me. What about printing on leather?" And I say, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I gotta go." Actually, it sounded a little bit crazy, but Jerry is such a creative volcano, and it's impossible to say no. And I say, "Okay, just give me enough days, and I will make sure that we will deliver that." And so it happens, but it has been quite a tough mission, because printing on leather, it's not simple. You need the right equipment. You need to make sure that it doesn't crack. You need to make sure that the quality and the colors, are comparable to the paper. And actually, Jerry was really precise on the definition of the product. So he had precise characteristics in his mind. So he asked for size, color of the leathers, the way it should open, and stuff like that. So we actually had exciting days, probably too few days, but actually was part of the fun. And in the end, the result is, it's an artistic piece. It's a masterpiece at some degree. I'm in love with that book.
It's really different. It's unlike anything I'd ever seen. When I walked in the room, it was sort of I wandered over. I said, I have to see what this is. It almost looked like it was on like old parchment. It kind of had that.
I tell you, like a medieval code, something like that.
Yeah.
But with a stunning Jerry's imagery inside, and this softness in the leather, you can even smell it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it touches all the senses, right? It's got the visual. You can smell it. You can smell the leather.
Yeah.
You can feel the leather. It's kind of hitting all the senses in a book, which is incredible.
Yeah, and by the way, you are definitely right. And by the way, using senses in our books is one of our key features. I mean, we all know that female brains whose tactile sensations, so their fingertips are equal to our eyes, and it's part of our DNA. So we think that, considering that wedding albums are mainly, driven by women, as we know, we think that we should, give them what they deserve, what they look for. And tactile sensations are part of the feeling, of the look and feel of the product. Yeah. So that's why we built the digital matted album a couple of years ago, and that's why we print on leather, or that's why we add, special features like raised printing on covers for personalizations and stuff like that. We think that almost a 3D feeling could be another value for many.
Yeah, there was actually, I was at Print Show on Sunday, and there was somebody put in a 3D print. They entered a 3D, so the judges had to put glasses on to view the print. And some loved it, some not. Some thought it was gimmicky. It was really interesting, though. It's something different, right? It's pushing that envelope.
Definitely. By the way, there's a book here printed in 3D, so you have to wear your 3D glasses, and it's still by Jerry Gionis. So, as I said, he's a Vulcano. So
that's cool. I'll have to check that out for sure. That's awesome.
Sure.
That's really good. So just kind of, I don't want to have too much of your time today because I know you've got a room full of people that you want to talk to. So what's in store? What's down the road for Graphi?
So consider that we came here just bearing in mind that all the prototypes we are showcasing here are supposed to be like a developer convention. So we hope to inspire our clientele. We hope to give them some hints for the next future, because some part of these books will never go to market.
Sure.
Some will turn into actual program quite soon, and based on their feedbacks, of course. So it's good to commute here with everyone and see their feedbacks and collect information. But what really matters is that along this year, for the second half of the year, we will come with even more options, more new options. So what you're looking here is going to happen springtime, but for fall season time, there will be another blast. I can't anticipate anything. I'm sorry to tease you.
I'm going to need to build a bigger sample cupboard for all my samples to show brides and grooms.
I think so.
That's fantastic.
I think so.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today at TWiP Weddings, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
WPPI.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dario. Appreciate it.
And once again, I'd like to thank Maureen and Dario for taking the time to sit down and chat with us here at TWiP Weddings. If you want to learn more about GraphiStudio, you can head on over to their website at GraphiStudio.com to learn more about their products for photographers. And if you're looking for us, you can visit our website at thisweekinphoto.com/weddings. And if you'd like to find me on the interwebs, you'll find me at momentsindigital.com, or on all the usual social networks, I'm at Bruce Clarke with an E at the end of Clarke. Once again, thanks for listening to another episode of TWiP Weddings, raising the bar one wedding at a time.